I was just over the moon. I was just thrilled to be reunited. Working with Nicole on Big Little Lies was one of the absolute highlights of my career. I don't know where to begin. Everything about it felt very crazy and very glamorous to me. And the fact that we shot driving this Jeep through down Broadway and then through Soho, cutting through traffic, singing the Wham song was all very surreal. I was barely an actor even. I was on vacation in Hollywood when I got the job. It was my first audition, so I couldn't quite believe that. 2 weeks later, I was in New York shooting that scene with Ben Stiller. It was, and obviously the infamous gasoline fight was a lot of fun to shoot.
There are two Suki Stackhouses. One who still clings to the idea that she's merely human, and the other who's coming to grips with the fact that you are better than that.
And what do you think's gonna happen when I do come to grips with it? Do you think my legs are just gonna magically open for you?
Well, that was saucy.
Yeah, there were no intimacy coordinators around at the time. We knew each other so well, Anna, myself, and that again, we spent 7 years together shooting that show. So I think it's mostly when you don't know each other and you're not, it could be helpful to establish that trust and make sure that everyone's comfortable. Having had that long experience of working together, we really established that level of trust quite early on.
Yes, we are the conquering heroes.
Hey! Baghdad's the other way, you...
We wanted to show it from the point of view of the soldiers, the boots on the ground, and David Simon and Ed Burns, who created the show, had done and was still working on The Wire, and again, if anyone's familiar with their style of filmmaking, it is very authentic and genuine, and you feel like a fly on the wall overhearing a conversation almost. That means a lot when people come up and say that felt when soldiers who experienced that and were out there on deployment, that whenever people say that it felt like an accurate and truthful depiction of what it was like out there.
Like 5 feet. And look, and now he stops. He's got 5 feet here. That's good, that's good. Stop.
I actually worked with Lars for literally 3 seconds on New Year's Eve, Eve of the Millennium. Lars was shooting a crazy project in Copenhagen live over New Year's Eve. So I had a tiny little part. When Lars called about the project, I said yes before. That doesn't happen often, but I said yes before reading the script or asking what the role was, because I was such a fan and so excited to be on set with him that I just jumped and said 100% whatever it is.
Do I look different than I did yesterday?
Hey.
Hey. It feels so good to imagine that he might be thinking about me. I wonder if anybody loves me who I don't know about.
That project would not have reached me through the traditional channels of agents or managers. My neighbor, so by the time my agents heard about it, I had already said yes, basically. And I got to have a lot of fun with, together with the costume designer and the hair and makeup department, and kind of creating Monroe's look. It was absolutely wonderful.
I grew up running on Old Fools. It changed the bone structure.
Do you swing on things inside, like when you go upstairs?
Oh, I never take the stairs. I usually take the curtains.
David was, at the time, definitely way more experienced in working with CGI green screen than I was. I learned a lot from that experience of working with David. He's an incredible filmmaker and just a very sweet, gentle soul. So lovely to be around. I learned a lot. It was very challenging. John, or Tarzan, obviously has these emotional connections to these animals, and to shoot action sequences was not that difficult, but to shoot an emotional moment with a tennis ball as your co-star was not always easy.
Here comes. I'm starving. Give me a tender little teenager to devour.
What I responded to was, when I first read it, was that it felt like such a honest and nuanced portrayal and depiction of an abusive relationship. It wasn't lazy in the way it was portrayed. It wasn't cliched. It really avoided the stereotypes of the dude wearing a wife beater on the couch with a beer and watching baseball and screaming at his wife. It was it showed the nuance of it and gave her, Celeste in this case, more respect, because you understood why she would have fallen in love with him in the first place. Again, he's not a cartoon, he's not a caricature. He is, there's complexity there. And he's a great dad. They have a really strong connection. They have a great love life, sex life. There's a passion there. Obviously, tremendous darkness as well, but it was important to portray and capture the complexity of that relationship.
I will avenge you, Father.
I will avenge you, Father.
I will save you, Mother.
I will save you, Mother.
I will kill you if you let me.
I was just over the moon. I was just thrilled to be reunited. Working with Nicole on Big Little Lies was one of the absolute highlights of my career. I was dying to be reunited and doing something with Nicole again. And yeah, it's another very dark, twisted, weird, dysfunctional relationship. But to kind of explore that with someone not only of that caliber, but who's also a friend and someone you've gone through that intense experience of doing Big Little Lies together, meant a lot, because it's someone I really trusted deeply and felt comfortable being completely open and vulnerable with.